My hands were shaking as I signed the resignation letter, not because I was scared, but because I knew what was coming next. They thought they could take everything I built, my parents, my sister. What they didn't know was that I had already taken everything they needed to survive. If you've ever been betrayed by the people who were supposed to love you the most, if you've ever dreamed of that perfect cold-blooded revenge, hit that like button, subscribe, and buckle up, because this story, it's the definition of poetic justice. I was 33 when it all happened. 10 years of grinding, barely sleeping, skipping holidays, living off coffee and ramen. I had built a tech company from the ground up. No investors, no handouts, just relentless obsession. It wasn't huge, but it was mine. A mid-sized but respected player in our niche with a growing list of loyal clients and a team that felt more like family than employees. But real family? That was another story. You see, my parents had always favored my younger sister, Sarah. She was the golden child. The one who got straight A's, the one with the Instagrammable smile, the one they bragged about to their friends. I was the geek in the basement to them. Never mind that I'd created something real while they were still passing Sarah cupcakes for just applying to business school. When she graduated from a prestigious MBA program, my parents began this campaign, this push, to bring her into my company. She can help you scale it. She understands modern business. She'll take it to the next level. I'll admit I was hesitant, but I loved my family, and Sarah was smart, so I welcomed her in. At first, she did help. She brought in some sleek systems, redesigned our pitch decks, and modernized our branding. Things were going well. Until they weren't. Sarah started taking liberties. Strategic decisions without looping me in. Then I noticed something darker. My most trusted team leads were starting to defer to her, not me. She had this charm, this manipulative polish. She'd take my ideas, twist them, present them as hers, and make me seem like the outdated founder holding the company back. I remember walking into a meeting, my meeting, and seeing a slide deck titled Q3 Vision, Sarah's Strategic Path Forward. I wasn't even listed on the agenda. But the final blow? That came at a family dinner. We were all seated, my parents, Sarah, her smug MBA boyfriend, and me. Wine was flowing. It should have been a celebration. Instead, my parents dropped a bombshell. "We've been talking," my mom said, smiling like this was some kind of gift. "We believe it's time for new leadership. Sarah's ready to take over. You've done enough." I couldn't breathe. My heart pounded so loud I could barely hear the rest. Sarah just sipped her wine and said nothing. She didn't need to. Her silence said everything. They weren't asking me to step down. They were telling me. I had built the company from scratch. Alone, and now they wanted to hand it over to her like I was a placeholder. I didn't argue, I didn't yell, I didn't even finish dinner. I just nodded slowly, wiped my mouth, and said, "Thanks for the clarity." That night, I didn't sleep. I paced, rewrote plans, tore them up, rewrote them again. But by dawn, I knew exactly what I was going to do. I had an edge. I knew the company better than anyone. Its back end, its clients, its data, its weaknesses. Quietly, methodically, I began laying the groundwork. First, I created a new company under a different name, registering it overseas to avoid detection. Next, I approached our top-performing employees, the real lifeblood of the business, and made them offers they couldn't refuse. Equity, creative freedom, leadership roles. One by one, they signed on, silently, loyally. Then came the clients. I nurtured relationships with every major contract holder, prepping them for a transition. When the time was right, they'd follow me. Meanwhile, at the old office, Sarah and my parents were busy planning their takeover. They had no idea the company was a shell now. And then it was time. I called for a meeting, Sarah, my parents, and a few remaining team members. I handed them my resignation, flat, professional. Sarah smirked. "So you're just giving up?" "No," I said. "I'm just taking what's mine." I laid it out, the new company, the transferred contracts, the employees who'd already jumped ship, the IP that was never properly secured by them. Their faces went pale. Sarah stammered. "You can't do that." I smiled. "I already did." Over the next 3 months, my new company flourished. Meanwhile, the old one began to rot. Without the key team members, without the top clients, without me, they couldn't keep it afloat. Sarah tried to rebrand, tried to rebuild, but her ideas didn't land without my execution. Investors pulled out, clients disappeared. Eventually, they sold the husk of the company for pennies. You know what hurt the most? Not the betrayal, but the realization that my own family valued potential over loyalty. They saw me as disposable. But in trying to replace me, they lost everything. Revenge didn't make it hurt less, but it sure made it satisfying. If this story gave you chills, smash that like button. And tell me in the comments, have you ever had someone try to take credit or control over something you built? And don't forget to subscribe for more stories like this, where justice doesn't knock, it kicks the door in.